I guess I'm starting to develop a certain rhythm with these tapings, particularly because I'm approaching a recital this Sunday, February 3rd. It'll be February, quite soon. And the rehearsal schedule is starting to accelerate. I had a Beethoven Archduke Trio rehearsal last night. I'll have a Schumann Quintet rehearsal tonight, and then Thursday trio again. Friday and Saturday will be both of them, and Sunday some touch-ups maybe in the concert. So it's worth it to appraise how the practice relates to the rehearsal, because ostensibly that's why I practice, so that I will be ready for the rehearsal and the performance. I guess I've been at this for about 2.5 weeks. I started the whole process when school started at my university, Baldwin Wallace University, and I'm off, but they're on, and this concert is part of their regular scheduled season. So last night we mostly concentrated on the last two movements of the Beethoven. I should have listened harder to the fact that that was in the plans, because the slow movement of the Beethoven, the set of variations, is not the one that I was concentrating on yesterday. We had cancelled this particular rehearsal because of bad weather a few days ago when there was ice on the streets. And I did practice in preparation for that, and then I went into somewhat Schumann mode, and then you remember what I practiced yesterday, if you saw any of that, or you can just look at the listening to see that the first and last movements particularly got some of my attention. So, interesting things. One, the fourth movement, we decided to play rather more slowly than what I had practiced, which is a good thing in several ways. We explored all kinds of ways in which not pushing the character. The indication is not presto until you get to the coda, but rather something much more reasonable than that. That's this theme. That's written as Allegro moderato. Nothing could be clearer than the fact that a moderato implies don't get excessive. Of course, Beethoven pushes the tempo twice more. In the coda, he gets faster, and then he gets faster still at the very, very end. So we chose, I wouldn't call it a leisurely tempo, I would call it a well-characterized tempo, one in which we are able to savor the individual characters of the themes. And we had a lot of fun with it. And my preparation for a faster tempo made me feel that much more in command of the material, a very good thing. Then when we explored the slow movement, which it's not that it's inherently difficult or terribly fast, but it's very much a control thing. Lots of figuration. In the piano part, a lot of the figuration hovers. It's decorative. Surrounds the other instruments and supports them in a variety of ways, as well as being highly thematic. And I particularly enjoyed that the enhancements of color that I got from my violin partner Julian Ross's piano in his studio at school enabled me to really savor more of the kind of the expressive aspects of the piece. And in spite of the fact that I hadn't practiced that yesterday, much of what I had practiced previously, especially considering the expansiveness of the way we were playing, allowed me to feel a relative sense of ease. Relative, of course, is in quotation marks. It also reminded me that there are certain elements of my preparation and of my attitude there that require refining. I do have to go back to that. Maybe not today, because I'm going to be concentrating a lot on Schumann. But definitely that's on my short list of things to look over, to tweak. So it's been quite enlightening to see what pays off in rehearsal and how quickly. I did note something interesting in the slow movement. We worked so intensely, worked back and forth and isolated variations, that sometimes for me rehearsal is practice. In other words, sometimes I'm able to, on a second go through a passage, refine a fingering or a gesture or a thought or what I'm looking at or things of that sort. I don't have those recorded, but that's what these little musing sessions are, I hope, going to be all about, to be a little descriptive of what happens off camera I do have a life off camera. Some of you might know that, and if you don't imagine it, try to imagine it. But included in that life off camera is taking what I do here and applying it elsewhere. So that's all for now. I'm going to head from this little discussion into practicing the Schumann Quintet in a moment. Thanks.